All right, so we have some cool updates to RenderNow that we're going to show here. I'll go through them right here real quick. So the first one's going to be some new templates. We have some lighting trees and projection stands that we can show you. And then the ability to aim lights with our mouse location, which is really cool. And then some circular truss options and some circular seating options as well, which will help a lot for if you're creating a sort of rounded setup. All of these updates will be posted on the dashboard area here, which will be posted up here, and then you can see upcoming updates down there. All right, so we'll start off with some new templates real quick. So there's a couple new templates that you can play with. They're under this minimal section, which will be at the top, and you can just drag them right in. So this first one just has some basic drape and 2 screens, as well as some uplighting and then 2 lighting trees in the back. So this is meant to help get a head start on creating sort of a basic setup. And if I drag in the second option here, it'll just replace the middle screen with the middle area with a third screen there. And then you can always go in and select the screens if you want and adjust them over here to a different size. Maybe you want a smaller setup or something. You can always adjust the size and then, customize kind of everything by scaling things a bit wider, just anything you need there. You can do that. So we'll start off with this one. And next I'll show you these lighting trees. So lighting trees and projection stands as well. So if you go into the Add Objects panel here and you go to Lighting, there's an option over here that says lighting tree. You just drag that in, and there's going to be this whole lighting tree that you can move around here. If you right click, it will cancel it, but otherwise you can set it wherever you want by left clicking. And then it's going to be grouped immediately, so you can go ahead and kind of move it wherever you want, and then rotate the whole tree if you want to, and then you can start aiming the lights if you need to as well. And then the other tree sort of is going to be a projector truss tree or stand, if you will. And so this is the similar thing. It comes out as a group, so if you want to adjust some things within it, you could either ungroup here, or you go up to selection and turn the group lock off. And then basically if you wanted to, let's say, remove this piece of truss, I'm going to hit this zoom button to zoom into this, and then maybe you want to move this on top of this here, and then you just can go ahead and lock the group again, and then from there you can duplicate it, move it over to wherever you want it. So that's how that works right there. Next I'll go over aiming lights. So we added the ability to aim all of the different lights. So if I go in here and I look at this truss tree here, I'm actually going to move these back a bit like this. And so these are just not in focus very well, right? And I'll also add some people on the stage. I'm just going to drag this one over here so that we can see what's going on. So maybe I'll drag these back even further, turn the venue lights down a bit more so we can see better. And I'm going to disable this group lock button again. And I'm just going to go in here, and I'm actually going to select all the lights, all these stage wash, and we're just going to turn them all the way down so that I can see them one by one. So I'll start with this right one here, and I'm just going to, you could either do it from this view, you could hit this zoom button here to focus in on the light and kind of do it this way. So if I turn the intensity of the light up and adjust the cone angle a bit, and then I aim it by clicking this aim button here, it's just going to follow my mouse wherever my mouse goes. So from here I'll just aim it right over in this direction. I'll go to the next one, do the same thing, although I turned this light down, so I'm just going to want to adjust that again. Move it over to this area, and do the same thing over here. Cool. And then once I got them all in a general area that I want them to, I can just select all of them and kind of adjust the intensity and the cone angle as well. Something like that. Cool, so that's how you do that. This aiming feature works with different types of lights as well. So let's say I went over to this build feature and hit lighting, and if I set some moving lights on the top here, I'll just bring it down to 2, and let's move these back a bit here. And if I go ahead and select one of them, and I'm going to change the pattern to just a circle pattern here, and I again do this, you can see that once I start aiming it, it will move with the mouse again. So sometimes it's easier to play around with the camera view to be able to aim it perfectly. Like this, and then you can kind of adjust as you need here. Or maybe you want to aim it at the ceiling and set the pattern different. So anyway, so this is kind of a way to do this. All right, so that's how you do that. We'll look at some circular truss options now, which is pretty cool. So again, let me place that, and then if I go to this rigging option here, I'm just gonna throw some truss up here, and I'm going to move it to the middle. And I'll turn up the room intensity light a little bit so that we can see it. So basically from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go over to here, and in the options here, I now have a new truss curved button, and so what that does is it just changes the truss to a curved truss, and you'll notice so the first few the pivot point here will be at the bottom, but once you get to the larger pieces, it's going to move further out. And the reason for that is that once you start creating a curve, you can just basically copy it by holding Alt and dragging like this, or you could duplicate and drag it, and it'll start creating a perfect radius there for you. So that's how that works, and then you could always just change this back to your long truss, or go back to the truss that you had there. Cool, so that's how that works, and then I'm just going to delete this real quick. All right, so now we'll show some circular seating options as well. So if I want to do a circular seating option, I'll go over here to seating and theater seating. So right now the circular seating only works for chairs. It doesn't really work for banquet tables or classroom style tables. So we want to start with theater style seating, so the chairs. And I'm going to go to layout, and this third option here is circular seating. So I'm just going to click circular. And you can see from the top view, if I hit 2 on my keyboard to circle, and it'll pull it back here, and it'll group all the chairs together. And then if I want to basically create different sizes, let's go to the top view here, it's a little easier to see. Let's say my room's 100 feet wide, so I'll do, let's say 90 feet wide, and then I'll do, this will always be a perfect circle, so it doesn't really matter what the depth is. But this part, the separation X, is the distance between the chairs, so we'll set this to like 2 feet between the chairs, maybe 2.5. And then the separation Y is the distance between the rows, so maybe you want 5 feet of space between each row, right? And you can note that a warning will come up here saying that there's too many objects to group, so if I try to click on them, they won't be grouped. So what you want to do from here, if you want to keep all these, is just, you know, start removing chairs if you want, or you can group them separately. So I'm going to do kind of a half circular setup here. So first I'm going to move some of this out of the way. And then I'll go to this side view here and delete some of these chairs. And I'm just going to create kind of a half circle option here. So it is even on both sides, so you can kind of just drag the marquee tool here and try to get it to be sort of evenly spread out. Maybe I don't want this smaller piece here, and maybe you want to create an aisle in the middle. So I would do something like this, and I think this is maybe still too curved here, so I'll do something like this. And then I'm going to try to group all this now that I have them a bit smaller. So it should allow me to group them now. Group. All right, now they are grouped. Okay, cool. So now I'm just going to move them forward a bit. Maybe something like that. Bring in these guys back to where they were. Something like this. So anyways, this is pretty quick, but just to show you the ability there to add circular seating. So definitely get a hold of us if you're having any issues with any of this new stuff, and hopefully it helps you in creating some quicker designs.